I'm gonna pause that. Hey, howdy, Rick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, what's up, Barry? What's up, everybody? Who all was there?
This is us, the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges? Yeah.
How you doing, Rick?
Oh, pretty good. Y'all doing all right?
Hanging in there.
Hanging?
Going to get hot outside. Y'all know that.
It's already hot outside. Let me tell you, I was outside today. It's just terrible. But you're right. It's not at mid upper 90s yet.
Mhm. Yeah, Mr. McBride's getting in.
Hey,
Hey guys.
Hey, Kent.
what's up, Kent?
Yes. What's
You look
up,
like-
guys? How you doing?
You
We
look
don't
like the
see-
doughboy.
I don't see you yet, but
Yeah, I gotta somehow. There we go. Start
There it is.
video. There we go.
yeah.
There we go.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, well, as you know, Tom's not going to be here today. He's got some kind of reunion to do in
Yeah.
Baltimore or something. And I did convert a lot of those clips you sent me, Kent, so we can look at some of
Oh,
them
good.
today.
Something good.
Okay.
And some pictures that you had too. And so anyway,
That's virgin material.
yeah. I
Be gentle, Bill. Be gentle.
yeah, pop a cherry on the videos.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here's something Barry sent me a couple weeks ago. I just never showed it, and it doesn't have anything to do directly with the mustache, but it was a little
Advertisement.
advertisement.
Huh.
Five.
But Bob,
Round.
426 Bourbon Street, and I'm not sure if it was the first time I heard of that club. You know,
the ink spots. This must have been long before whatever else was there.
yeah, well, it's actually some group that imitates the ink spots.
Oh, the five. I get it.
Bigger. Yeah, the Brown Cats, nationally famous for their ink spot impersonations.
Yeah.
It caught my eye, the address. You know, I never heard of Plum Valley.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
426 Bourbon Street. You know,
Had that whopping 50-cent cover charge.
yeah,
Must be in the 30s.
yeah, 50 cents used to get you into a movie. You know, so
Huh.
Used to get you 2 gallons of gas.
yeah, a bottle of Thunderbird.
Mm.
Floor
Now we're
shoes
talking.
galore.
Yeah.
50 cents did fill up my motorcycle back in the 60s.
Now, I was telling Barry that they had an article in the paper. They're increasing the number of medical marijuana dispensaries in Louisiana, and they're opening 3 more in New Orleans, and one of them is in the 400 block of Bourbon. They didn't give the exact address. You know,
What's the name of that joint going to be?
I don't know.
Just had to say it. Yeah. Can't help myself.
Call it the family joint. You know.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Hey,
top-
one of my favorite jobs post mustache. I was a marijuana tour guide when it became recreational in 2014. I used to work for a limo company, and I gave private tours from people all over the world who came because it was the first state where it was recreationally legal.
Yeah.
And they paid, instead of going to Amsterdam, as these people did every year, they came to Colorado because they wanted to say that it was the first time. And that was quite interesting.
yeah.
Really? Wow.
Denver's
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain High had a new meaning then, huh?
It did, yes. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. The cross section of the world, not just people from America, from all over the world came, because that was something that I never thought in my lifetime I'd see it be recreationally legal. Never thought I'd see it medically legal, but never recreationally.
I don't know. I thought the other way. When I was in college, you couldn't walk across campus without smelling people just sitting all over the grass, you know, on the grass, you know. And I thought for sure by the time I was this age, probably would have been, you know, as our age grew up, you know, that they would have been legal. But I guess they can't do it unless if somebody figures out a way to make money off of it, you know.
But I'll tell you what, 2 years ago when I was still working on Bourbon Street, people were smoking weed all over in the open. They didn't care if the cop was right next to them.
Yeah. Well,
You know what? Everybody's smoking like regular cigarettes all over.
Huh.
You remember the the NOLA Express people that used to sell the NOLA Express?
Yeah, little paper.
That's what they were selling. I mean, their stuff was inside the paper, yeah. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, there was a time when a beer cooler might have been a dispensary.
I think that did happen a few times.
Anyway, let me get some mustache stuff here. Speaking of mustache, Bourbon Street here, let me get him here.
LaRue.
Yeah. Who remembers carrying the sandwich board?
I do.
I do.
Me too. Yeah.
Last time I saw LaRue was at Fred Hendrix's going away party.
Memorial. Yeah.
Yeah, his funeral.
The
Yeah,
funeral.
his memorial service, right?
Memorial service. Was that?
Kent, do you remember Lulu, the guy we showing a picture?
No, I met him in New York, but he was gone before Tom and I started.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was going right before you got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was funny and he was energetic. He was a fun manager to work for.
He was a good guy.
He was a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
And,
him talked about enough to where I felt like I knew him.
Well,
After
he left Mustache and went to Alabama and opened up KFC franchises.
That
And really
chain.
got rich off of that.
he did real well.
Real well.
I was recording for the crew of Orpheus, and LaRue for his got an entire float for his people that work for the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that wasn't cheap, to get enough spaces for everybody on there. But he take care of his employees and let them have some fun. And
He used to come into Fritzl's about once every 2 or 3 months. And he'd come up, sing Minnie the Mermaid, and put $100 bill in a tip jar every time. Guys in the band loved my friend to come.
Yeah.
they let LaRue do the Minnie the Mermaid song. Did he?
I was leading the band, so yeah, I got him up there and did Minnie the Mermaid, let him sing it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had any other people jump in there with him. So
He just got up there by him with the mic and sang Minnie the Mermaid. We played it.
Huh,
And
really?
he tipped us $100. The guys in the band loved that. They loved it.
Oh, yeah. I guess that.
let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's see. I do have a copy of us doing it when they didn't let us do it on stage, but I think I'll see if I put it in a folder that I can find real quick.
Minnie the Mermaid.
Well, here it is. Okay, found it. This was at the 50th reunion. All right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Now we're talking talent there.
There was, Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Snake. Oh, your beard got short.
Little bit.
A little bit. Yes, it did.
Hey, Snake.
Here comes Chris,
Yeah.
I think.
There's his phone anyway. So, you know, it was fun getting, you know, when I look back at it, it was fun getting up to do a bar song again. Never thought I'd do it again. You know, they didn't let us on stage to do the, how you going to keep them down on the farm.
Oh, yeah.
We had to do it from the, I don't know why, you know, they said it was going to take up too much time for us to get on stage. But
Chris,
during the actual concert, we did how you going to keep them down on the farm, you know. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing, folks?
Doing well.
Hey, Gay.
Let's see. Also, let me see what I had. Kent sent me some video clips that he had shot at the 50th in the lobby and upstairs and all that. So let me see if I can get one of those going here. Here, let's see. I get it. Here we go.
That sounded like two skeletons screwing on a tin roof.
See if I can get off of it. Okay, come. Oops, let me see if I can get this off of here. Right in a sec.
You know that we just heard 10 minutes of Honeysuckle Rose. And for the life of me, I can't ever remember playing that song at the Mustache. Ever.
No, that wouldn't have been a popular one.
Huh?
Nobody knows the words to it.
Yeah. We never played at the Mustache. That's why I find it ironic that that's the one they played at that reunion for 10, 15 minutes.
I remember playing, I definitely remember playing Honey Suck My Nose at the Mustache.
I don't. We all knew. Everybody knew the title because of that joke.
Okay.
Sing that one, Bill. I want to hear it. No.
Yeah.
Well, the trombone players liked it. You know, it was a good tune for a trombone.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the trombone, it was great to have all the trombones there. We were short the last reunion of trombone players.
Yeah.
Completely. In fact, Danny Rubio brought his tuba and he played all the trombone parts and all the tuba parts.
True enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I found one clip. Can't. It didn't have. It had Jeff doing a solo. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. The thing is, the names get truncated on here, so I can't read.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they shortened the names if it's too long. Here it is, right here. Okay.
That girl, so my first girlfriend told me my pecker got truncated.
Here we go. There we go. All right.
That would have been better,
Right.
except for that
Simple.
bald guy with the red shirt kept getting in the way of the camera.
Yeah. Well,
It did look familiar.
can't we shoot those? And what happened to your footage, Chris? So what happened to your shots?
I have it. I have all that stuff on, and most of it is on the Father's Mustache YouTube thing.
Yeah, my problem is I can't download YouTube videos, but
Right.
any MP4s you could send to me, you put them in a Google Drive or whatever, I could put them up here, you know.
Oh, sure.
All right. So anything going up in Denver, Snake?
Not too much. They got a gig coming up a week from Friday. But they're few and far between.
Okay.
Where's the gig, Snake?
It's down at a place called TJ's, the old Cuckoo's Nest. Down at
Where's that?
Jewel and Wadsworth, back in the corner.
Now that Ken knows exactly where it's at, let's move on.
I know about where it's at.
Trying to find, let's see.
Yeah.
See, I had a picture old picture of the Denver band somewhere, let me see. Sometimes I think I got it and I can't find it. I might not put it in this folder.
It was great to see Herb in that last clip. He plays very little anymore, if he plays at all.
I heard he gave up playing. He's kind of like me. Stop playing.
So Barry, you're not playing anymore?
Not at all. I'm surrounded by banjos right now. And I think I touched one for about 5 minutes about a year ago.
Wow.
I am.
You got a nice pile of them in your office, though.
No, I am surrounded with them. They're all around me.
Yeah.
Want to sell one?
You know what? One day I'll have to sell them, Jim.
You know, I thought I had a photo of the whole Denver band, but I'll find it. Let me see this. Got one of them here with a cowboy hat. You might recognize them. Let's see.
Boy, that's ugly.
Yeah.
Who would that short guy be?
That's what you need, Snake. Something to make you taller.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You still have that hat? It's kind of fancy looking.
Oh yeah, I got it.
That's what you get when you cross Ronnie Bill with Hopalong Cassidy.
And the 20-gallon hat.
Up along the snake.
Funny, yeah. It looks like it's made. Is it made of snake skin?
Ooh.
No, it's a straw.
Straw, but it's just that weave to it. It's kind of strange looking. Okay, nice and shiny. Okay.
Hey, that would be appropriate to have a snakeskin hat too, though.
Yeah.
Snake, how did you get the
Right?
nickname Snake? Snake, how did you get the nickname Snake? Or was it?
Another story.
That's what all the girls called him.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
I would think of that python.
Let's see. So you had
I'll let that go.
Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, show that first picture to Roger when he comes on about that 421 bourbon, 426 bourbon thing. He
Oh,
might-
okay. Yeah,
he might know stuff about it.
yeah. See,
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Raj.
hey, Raj, we have a history question for you already. You're just getting on.
He's muted. Yeah, there he is.
Hey, Roger, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a history
Me
question.
now?
I can hear you now. Hey, Roger.
I just want to make sure.
We had a history question for you. Barry found an old clipping from I don't know if it was an ad for something, and it was for a club that was on 426 Bourbon Street, but none of us remember it.
The Silver Slipper,
No, the
Club.
club Valley.
Club.
5 brown cows.
Yeah,
Up Valley.
What
Cat.
valley?
First
5
is-
brown cats, nationally famous for ink spot impersonations. Floor shows galore, no cover, no minimum, except
Yeah.
Saturday nights, 50-cent minimum.
All right,
426 Bourbon Street.
Must have been back to '30s or something.
one drink and see the whole show.
Step right.
You know that there was the club was 2 different names. It was the Dream Room.
Mhm.
Before that, it was called the Silver Slipper, I believe.
Mhm.
And I think one more before that, I just can't remember.
Must be.
Maybe
Yeah.
Club
I think-
Valley.
And I had some pictures of the inside of those clubs, so I never could figure out why the bathrooms were shared, or what time we started sharing them.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
know. It made things interesting when people get drunk and come out in the wrong club.
although that was always crazy.
Yeah.
People would come with mustache hats and they'd come in to the other side. It could have been Denelec, Andes, or the Clarity, and then they'd look around. They go like, "What the hell did I just take?" And when we got them to the front door, I said, "Go next door now. You're okay."
And it's even trickier than that was, remember the Dungeon and Molly's Irish Pub shared a
Oh
bathroom.
yeah,
They
I
come
love
to
the
an Irish
Dungeon.
bar going into this heavy metal headbanging place.
Well, there were some always interesting places, you could go after hours, I like to go down to Lucky Pierre's a lot. As you'd go in there, the ceiling was painted with stars and everything, You'd be in there drinking and eating the nice steak and eggs, whatever.
Oh,
You
yeah.
never knew what time it was. You'd walk outside and it'd be daylight. Where'd the stars go? And the people on the tour bus would be driving by, would wave at them,
Remember a late night dinner at Lucky Pierre's? They made a nice steak burger too. It was like
Oh, yeah.
like
That was
Mhm.
that was sort of a hangout for, people got off work late and went down there who's the guy that played the piano down there?
Frankie Ford.
Yeah, it's Frankie Ford, that's it. Yeah, he was good. The
Mhm.
New Orleans, it was a different time period and I
yeah.
don't know if I'd enjoy it today like I did then, so.
Was it Sea Cruise Frankie Ford?
Yep, see,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a big hit.
Yeah.
You're right. I never saw him playing when I was there. Maybe it was too late,
We had that room where he played the piano, the front room. They had hookers. You couldn't even walk through. There were so many hookers. Roger.
The hookers they had certain clubs they could go into. They used to come into the Clarity toward the latter part of the night, and we'd know who they were, and then they'd tell us what type of drink they think. They were actually just getting water and Coke, but because they didn't want to get drunk. The guy buying drinks for them thought they were getting a nice cocktail.
Yeah.
I remember working the door, and it was an Oriental gal, a hooker, and she came in and she just, can I just stand over here? Somebody was apparently harassing her or something like that, So I said, yeah, go stand on the other side of the cigarette machine. I don't know, but the girl's breath was so bad. I kept trying to think. You can smell somebody's breath, like smelling smoke and stuff like that. I'm saying, holy, yeah, you stand over there, Yeah, let me
Stand over there.
over there on that side of the cigarette machine. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Well,
it was.
I remember, after the mustache burned down, I went to work at the haberdashery down the street, which was down even a block from the Houlihan's, and there were several hookers who used to run in and go, "Oh my God, the cops are after us!" And the cops were doing sweeps, and they would run in the ladies' room and put their, stand up or squat down on the stool like there was nobody in there. And it was interesting. And one night I told the cops where they were, and then the next night these hookers came back in with knives.
Oh,
And they said, if you ever do that again and tell the cops where we are, you won't go home alive.
Wow.
And I went, well, this is interesting. Never encountered that in several years in your father's mustache, but in just a month or two. But it was quite interesting.
yeah.
They were pretty vicious.
Wow. Jeez.
I remember getting threatened with a weapon at the mustache. Occasionally people would threaten you, but
I'm dreading. Oh, the thing is, if something happened in the mustache, they need to be thrown out. About 4 or 5 waiters went over and sort of guided them out the front door.
quickly, we get their feet off the floor and take them to the street and put them down, let the police.
Yeah. That happened one night. Thought, well, how about? I jumped up to there, got this guy, and I thought in a headlock, and I said, let's get him out of here. So he stands up. I look down, my feet aren't on the ground. Oh shit! I'm really good. Let this guy go.
Kent had sent me some clips that he shot at the 50th reunion that we hadn't seen before.
Okay, great. Let's look at it.
A couple more of them here. Let's see. We just showed one that had Jeff singing "My Mother's Eyes." Yeah, let's see if I can.
Wasn't there one with Roger and Fred?
Yeah. Minnie the Mermaid.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have the Minnie the Mermaid song too. If we want to see that again.
Roger didn't see that.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Seeing self-performing.
Not me.
Actually, Bonnie held the camera for this because I was on stage. So if you call that stage.
More, still not satisfied.
Really?
We nailed that kick line, didn't we?
Yeah,
That's right.
That's what happened when men never grow up.
I think there was a good chance all 5 of us would have fell off the bar at that point.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, unless Kent was anchoring us, I'm not sure.
I look so tall there with all you guys.
That's true. That's true.
Whoa.
Well, that doesn't mean you're tall, though.
I know. I didn't. I said I look so tall.
Yeah.
Platform shoes.
High heels.
Oh, you got your mustache on there.
Yeah.
What's on the bottom of that
Somebody's
mug?
called 426 bourbon in New Orleans.
Yeah. What's on the bottom of that mug?
Beer.
Made in Mexico, made in Mexico.
Yeah.
Would face a stiff tariff now if we were bringing these in.
Yeah. I went to the factory in Mexico. Edwin and I, when we were down there traveling through Mexico, and down in Guadalajara, I met the guy who made all these mugs. He took us through the factory and showed us how he made them, everything. He took us out to dinner later that night.
Oh, wow.
Dined us. Because we were big deals, you know.
They are.
How many thousands of those did we buy?
Yeah.
How many thousands a year did we buy?
What, mugs?
Yeah.
Jeez, I have no idea.
100,000?
We just kept buying them. We kept selling them.
Actually, there was a time, if you look at the bottom of your mug, and I used to buy them off of eBay when I'd see them for cheap, you know. And if they have that little square on the bottom of it, it was made by McCoy. And those
McCoy is where we bought them from.
and McCoy are collectibles. People just collect anything that was made by McCoy. They'll, you know.
Really?
Well, that was up in Ohio, I believe, or somewhere.
Yeah, 'cause I got quite a few of McCoys, you know. Yeah, but I remember when we did in Mexico, didn't they make them all left-handed? Didn't we get a whole shipment of left-handed mugs or something?
All mine are left-handed.
Yeah, all yours are? Okay.
Yeah, that's left-handed mustache guy.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I got a couple of regulars, and I have one from the fire too. After the fire, it's still got smoke stuff on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it smells that stuff.
Wow.
You open them
Yeah.
up years later, and then you're like, what am I doing to myself?
My New York mug says McCoy. The New Orleans mug doesn't say anything on the bottom.
Yeah. Now I have some New Orleans ones that have a McCoy stamp on it. I'd have to go dig them out, but I probably have about 30 mustache mugs because I used to just scoop them up when I see them on eBay. Bonnie won't let me buy them anymore, even though.
So here's the bottom of one after the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Bad memories.
Here's one nobody's seen.
Wow.
Martin Square in Denver.
Look at that.
Square.
Yeah,
looks really cool.
Denver.
I have a Denver mug. It don't look like that though.
No, Denver's were white, but I don't know where I got this one.
Pirate. It's a pirate made one.
Here's just a little bit of nonsense with crap. The guy who set the thing up for us at the hotel, and Peter did a little funny routine. I just put it together. Well, Kent shot it.
Where in New York?
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
That was Joe
All
Cicala.
the end.
Ocala,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
that clown.
me's the way to go home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed. Well, I had a little drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. Don't ever find me roam on land or sea or home. Yeah, you're right. You'll always hear me singing that song. Show me the way to go. Everybody now, we're gonna show me the way to go. Everybody now, show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed. Well, I had a little drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. It's terrible, but we're I may roam on land or sea or the atmosphere. You don't always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Salvation Army, Salvation Army. You just mentioned it. Harry, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, or for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage. But you'll look sweet upon my seat and no bicycle bill for two. 1 to 2. What am I to do? Can't help it. Love's always been a game. Play it how I may. Love was made that way. Can't help it. Girls flutter to me like mouse from flames. And if their wings burn, I know I'm not to blame. Together now. Falling in love again. Never wanted to. What am I to do? Can't help it.
There you go.
And it's funny because Joe never worked at your father's mustache.
No, he did. Wasn't he
Never
married?
worked there.
Wasn't he married to Kathy Goodleaf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kathy was a nice person. She's still around, I think.
But I remember we saw that in person, we shook our heads. They still have. They haven't stopped the whole weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Joe is a good guy.
They kept that shit up the whole weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Kathy Goodleaf is still alive.
But she was a sweetheart.
I think she is.
Yeah, she was so helpful to everybody out of the office. Fun working with her.
Joe did a lot of work on that reunion.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
absolutely.
He did a lot of work.
It was a great turnout.
He also did a lot of work that he wasn't asked to do, and it cost us a lot of money, but that's still okay.
Ron Sater's fault.
Yeah, well,
Ron.
Only kidding.
we had a benefactor.
Ronnie and Roger, the R&R.
So Ron and I struck up when I first moved to New York. We just became instant friends and buddies, and we just had so much fun. We'd go out by ourselves a lot. It's a funny thing about we'd go out and we'd have a couple of drinks and we'd look around and say, okay, now what about Joe? We would never say anything negative about Joe in front of the regular people, but he was, and I still stay in touch with the lady he lived with when he died. And he was just a great person. He took me out to the Schiavone Scrap Metal Company at one time. I got to walk around out there to meet Michael and the other people.
Which one? The one in New Haven?
Yeah, it's on the intersection of, I think, 95 and 91,
That's right.
right?
It was the one in Boston was more impressive. It
I
was-
didn't know there was one in Boston.
oh yeah, that's where I met him. That's where I used to go to meet Joel. That
They have a huge company. They have trucks and ships and stuff.
oh yeah.
Here's here's a couple interviews from when we did the last reunion in New Haven.
Well, I started at Your Father's Mustache in New York while I was in college. I wound up never finishing college, but it gave me great business skills, and I had my own restaurant for 35 years, which was a very profitable restaurant, and a restaurant that I used a lot of the tools that I was taught at Your Father's Mustache. So I'm very appreciative, and it was the best time of my life.
Kevin Russo. I worked in the Boston Mustache and the Cape, also the Improper Bostonian for several years. And like he just said, I went into the same business. I was on Cape Cod. I just sold my last restaurant there after 40 years. And it all started here.
Mustache gave you any ability for that kind of stuff?
Certainly did. That and Howard Johnson's. He was my roommate in college.
My favorite story is my first job at Your Father's Mustache. Was a parking lot attendant and a janitor at the original Cape Cod. And from there, I went down to New Orleans after the summer, right after Betsy went through. So we saw destruction, Fred and I saw destruction there. And then we started working at the Mustache. And then I started doing bookkeeping. And then from there, I just kept on enjoying my work. Went to Denver, went to open the club in Chicago. Too cold, I went back to New Orleans. Then I went to New York to work out of the corporate office for 3 or 4 years. So Your Father's Mustache was the time of my life, right under my nose.
Yeah.
What a time period, huh?
Yes, indeed.
We're lucky to be involved in it.
Yeah. I think we talked about Blackpool last week a little bit, but I found this photo from it.
Yeah, that's Blackpool, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Goodness.
That's where Harry Black came from, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had a group called the Black Brothers. He and can't remember the guy's real name, but I was over there for a little over a month, and Harry was so good to me. He showed me around. He took me over where the Beatles played in Liverpool, and he took me to It's up to Scotland.
I think Harry passed right after the reunion, not too long after the New York reunion.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I would, when I first got there, I went down, we had a hotel upstairs in the Mustache, a little sidebar as you walked in. So I went up late afternoon and I said, oh, I'll take a cold beer. He said, no, you can't do that. I said, why? He says, we're not open now. I said, well, why is that? He says, because they close all the pubs in the afternoon, so all the men will go back to work.
That's right.
I wonder, is Marie still alive? Marie still alive?
Marie is Harry's wife?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, she is.
I don't know.
I don't know, though.
Bonus on the Tyne is where their address.
No idea.
Well, this was the actual opening to the actual performance at Carnegie Hall. If I can get it going here.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the banjo is back in town.
There's Mike.
What a way to make a buck.
I'm telling
Sounded just like the moron tubercular choir.
Yes, right.
Or the Vienna Sausage Choir.
You know, all my misgivings went away when the audience started to sing. I said, I know this, now I know this is going to work.
Yeah.
It sounded great. Of course, everybody in there just about had some connection to the mustache, so it meant a lot to everybody in the house. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people singing out there. Yeah.
There were people in the crowd who were in tears because it reminded them so much of the '60s and early '70s when they,
Yeah.
you know, the clubs were all open on the East Coast, and they were just. I had people stop me and say how much fun it was and what it meant to them, and how what a great deal that, you know, whoever had the idea, Joel and whoever, to do this at Carnegie Hall, they just literally they were in tears of joy, not sadness, but joy. It was just it was cool. It was a hell of an experience from a non-musician standpoint that they just loved it. So
yeah,
That's not, that's,
Kids at how unrehearsed we were.
y'all sounded great. I thought it sounded
Yeah,
wonderful.
really sounded good. Yeah.
that's when I knew it was gonna work. I said, I was doubtful up to that point. I really was.
why were you doubtful? I never had a moment of doubt.
Wow.
Me either.
Well, I'm a paid pessimist, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, all right. Well, and that explains it.
They got me on the committee to keep them honest, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. well,
But that was a great event, really was. Really good.
you
I
worked
tell
with-
people today I played at Carnegie Hall and they say, what? Did you what? Yep.
Well, I tell people I sang at Carnegie Hall.
There you go. There you
But I
go.
tell them it was 2 bar songs, you know, but
There you go. Right
Yeah,
on.
technically it was Zankel Hall, but I say Carnegie Hall too.
Well, Zankel Hall is one of the 3 halls at Carnegie.
Yeah.
They have the big one. That one seated, I think it was 1,600 or something like that, and the big hall seats over 2,000. And then there's the chamber music kind of thing that seats about 100, and that's upstairs.
Zankel Hall seats how many? 1,600?
It was a lot. It was more than I thought it was going to be. I was
Oh.
worried about the tickets, but we sold them all.
Yeah, they were all sold. It was sold out.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah. Well, this is the first reunion. Well, Tom put a picture of this for the invitation. Because I guess the good thing about this one, the Carnegie Hall was, we got to perform for like the audiences too. That in fact, a lot of people that came to see it were just people that never worked at the Mustache. They just remembered it. They want to go back and hear it again.
We're nowhere without the fans, folks.
Right.
they pay the bills.
You betcha.
Yeah, but I do regret not getting to go to the '87 one.
And that was the best one right there.
I think so. When that curtain opened, remember that, Bear?
Oh,
It's awesome.
sitting in the crowd, I went, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel gave like a whole history of the Mustache and why he got started, how he got started here and there, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, gonna give you the best thing I think I can give you, and that's one more night at your father's Mustache. And
Yeah.
the curtains opened, and
That was great.
That was great.
That night when he gave that history, I think that's the best history of the Mustache he
Yeah.
ever gave. I mean, he
I
told
agree with
the
that, Barry.
story 15, 20 times. That tape, and it's on your website. It's the best history, I think.
yeah.
Do you have masters to that, Chris?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah. Because like I said, I used to be able to get things off of YouTube, but ever since Google took it off, I can't rip it. You know, I have to get the original to play that. I could go the slow way and just videotape the screen, but that doesn't look too good.
Well,
No,
if I remember right, it went 10 to 15 minutes. It'd be something good to look at. 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'll Bill, I'll put all of my stuff onto a giant Google folder and I'll send it to you.
Oh, that would be great. That would be.
So you'll have what I have. So
Yeah, I'm sure we probably have some stuff that's redundant, but
oh yeah.
If you know where that one piece we're talking about is, if you can mark it for him, that might help him. You know where it's at, you know?
Yeah, I'd really like to hear that story as he told it, because I missed the '87 reunion. I was occupied otherwise that night. Couldn't make it. I was in France, and it was a little too much to get to.
That was a great reunion. That was really good.
Obviously, you guys remember that very well and feel very highly about it. So I'm so very sorry I missed it, but I just couldn't go.
Roger was there. You remember that, Roger?
Yeah, it's like we're in a time.
Roger was there. I have pictures of him dancing with Suzanne.
Yeah, that was I felt like I was in a time capsule when the curtain opened up. There was your father's mustache looking at me. Oh my God. The walls, everything was decorated just like the club. So it's a great memory night. Loved it.
And it was a total surprise too.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
had no idea it was coming.
No,
So well kept.
they kept that under lock and key real well. Nobody told anybody about it. Every word.
That reunion's almost 40 years ago.
Oh, Jesus.
You had to remind me, right?
Close to 40 years ago. Billy, did you get the pictures I sent you of Mike Johnson from that reunion?
Yeah, I put a lot of Mike Johnson pictures up. Well, did you send it recently?
That's about an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They're from the '87 reunion.
Yeah, it takes me a while to download them and put them in the folder.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to look, but I could put it up next year, for sure.
I got some of Jerry Sacco in there too.
Really?
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find this thing now. Let's see.
Bill, did you send out oh, there you go.
That was from the reunion, the
87.
7 one. Yeah.
Just to be clear, there was no alcohol involved there, all right?
No.
Yeah.
There was no beer involved.
Bill, did you send out an email full of all the pictures of the mustache and a story of it?
Did I send it out?
Yeah.
Also, the wireless cattle.
Sorry, that wasn't me. I did not send anything, an email with all the mustache stuff. Yeah, I could make a link to my Google Drive, and that would be where you could get into that.
The front of it was the picture of the old guy with the mustache and on the beard. And then as you went into it, it kept giving you different pictures of all through the years of the mustache and everything.
Oh, the montage. Well, you mean the montage that we showed at the reunion?
This was pictures from all the different mustaches and
Right, but what, at the New Haven, Connecticut reunion, one that we played there in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I made that. I can send you a link to that.
and it had pictures of like the billboard out on Airline Highway.
It had all kind of stuff on it. It
Yeah,
had,
great. Somehow I can't.
That was a
find
good
it.
montage.
yeah. I did. But here's another one of the.
Yeah.
That's a trusted crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Barry.
We were so young.
They all look pretty young.
Yeah.
Barry was doing his
38 years ago.
Jesus. Well, I never thought that would end. That would be that way forever.
I think, was that Friday night, I think.
Yeah.
The
Who
first
remembers?
night.
Roger, you look like
I
Wayne.
think it was. Yeah, actually it is.
Like
Yeah.
Wayne Dunkashane.
Donkey Shane. Hey, baby.
Oh, darling, Dunkashane.
Yeah. I look pretty healthy then.
Anything. This was let me see, one more video. It's not long. It was from Joel's memorial service. Towards the end of it, when everybody was wrapping up, and it was the Mustache Band played with the
Galvanized
band.
Galvanized Joe's.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was our closing number, I think.
That was
Yeah,
it.
it was about the end of it. I
That
wish
was
they had
it.
recorded more ambient sound because there was no way I could make pull out the background music, but you know, but that wasn't there. But it was, they did a good recording. You know, it was clean, but I like more ambience in it when you're having a big band like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, it's 5 o'clock, guys. Tom will be, let's see, I'm not gonna be here next Thursday. Tom's gonna do it. I'm going on a short trip, but we are doing next week. Tom said he will be available.
Good.
Great.
All right.
Great to see everybody, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good
Hey,
week.
Thank you,
we'll see
Bill.
everybody next week.
Thanks,
See you
Billy.
later, Ira. All right, guys.
Hey, weekend.
See you guys.
Hey, Barry, tell Dottie I was in Lantana today.
Well, I'm gonna tell
She's from
Dottie.
Lantana, right?
Yeah, she's from Lantana.
Yeah.
You're in Boynton.
Yeah, that's where I live, in Boynton.
All right, see y'all later.
Okay, guys.
See you, Barry.
Take
See you
care, Al.
guys.
Have
Have a good weekend.
Pictures and have them ready next time. Okay.
Goodbye.
Sayonara.
All right.
Where's this button here?